Hello guys, welcome to the 11th video of the Aerial FX Beginners course. I hope y'all are doing well, enjoying your evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This video is going to entail news announcements and fundamentals. So what is a fundamental? A fundamental is basically, like I just said, a news announcement that comes out for a specific currency or country that affects a currency. And it gives data on how well the country is doing. You know, for instance, GDP, CPI, PMI, non-farm payroll. We had Brexit last year, consumer confidence. All of these data releases based off of how well or how poorly a country economically or financially are doing, and they're released to the public. And you can find all this information at forexfactory.com. What you'll see is the day that the news is being released. All right, in this case, Friday, June 5th, the time that it's being released, the currency that is being affected, the level of impact of the news, and the news itself. All right, the description of what it is, and then the actual data versus the forecast data and the previous data. All right, so the reason why these are red and these are green is because the forecast right here. All right, and then the actual was lower than the forecast. The actual was higher than the forecast. All right, so it came out positive, this came out negative. All right, so a lot of people ask me, well, how do you trade news? And I tell them, you can trade news, but you have to have the right strategy to do it. And I don't mean, any, type of strategy that, I can put a buy stop and a sell stop and try to guess the direction it's going to go. No, there are specific rules in not necessarily trading news, but attempting to use news to your advantage if it allows. Okay, so in this case, today is Friday, June 5th. It is non-farm payroll. Every beginning of the month's Friday, the first Friday of every month is non-farm payroll, non-farm employment change on the unemployment rate for the U.S. So it is high impacting, indicated by a red folder. If it's yellow, it's not really impacting that much. If it's orange, it's medium level impacting. We only look at red impacting folders because this is what's going to produce a lot of volatility. All right, news is simply an excuse to push price in the direction it was always meant to go. Let me repeat that for you. News is simply an excuse to push price in the direction it was always meant to go. This is very important to understand. Okay, news is not simply just a quick spike in price up or down. It's not just this random movement. It's not manipulation. It has its own reason. I'll get into that in a little bit. All right, so having a strategy in place and understanding the levels that price needs to come to, encircling news in its time, all right, because news comes out at specific times of the day, can really help in your trading and understand where price is heading. Okay, so let's just jump right into the charts and I'll explain what I mean by using news as an excuse. So this is Euro USD. This news announcement right here, indicated by this wick, happened on March the 12th at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, there were multiple entries in here, and I'm not going to go into it. I caught, I think, about three or four entries on this, but the best one of them all was right in here. All right, now how did I know price was going to come up to this level, spike it, and then drop to the downside? Well, I knew that price had to come up to this level here, indicated by this blue line, to mitigate this buy to sell candle, which you'll learn more about in the advanced course and later on, potentially later on in this course, as we introduce the advanced course. But why such a sudden spike? Okay, price was already down here. Why didn't it just kind of trickle up and then kind of fall? Why such a strong move and then a strong move down? Well, when news comes out, again, news is simply used as an excuse to create volatility, to push price in the direction it was always meant to go. All right, price was always going to come back up to here anyways, so why not do it when news comes out to create some sort of panic when price starts moving very fast? People are irrational when price in the markets move very, very quickly. All right, so let me get into one of the types of strategies that most people use that fail almost 100% of the time when trading news. Okay, what they'll do is, let's say we're trading in this range right here. Price is right here. Okay, when news comes out, they understand high impacting news. Let's say it's like GDP for the euro. It comes out and they place their buy stop right here, their sell stop right here with their stop losses above and below here. When news comes out, what it'll do, it'll kind of chop around on purpose. It'll go like this, just random movements, and it'll hit their buy stop, then it'll hit their stop loss, their sell stop, their stop loss, and kind of just move around and then make a direction. All right, so this is done on purpose. Okay, this choppiness is done on purpose because it knows that people are placing these buy stops and sell stops, so it chops around, hits your buy stop, comes down, hits your stop loss, hits your sell stop, comes up, hits your stop loss. You lost on both trades. All right, but then it just makes a direction up, and you could have gotten right with this buy stop here if it continued, but it knows that people do this. But why did it come up to this specific area? Well, maybe there was a zone here that it always needed to come retest. Maybe there was a sponsored candle. Maybe there was some sort of price level that it needed to come and fill. Okay, well, if that's the case, news is the perfect excuse to push price, to create that volatility, inject that into the market, to push up and do that exact same thing, to mitigate price, to fill in some sort of imbalance, to retest a zone or whatever that may be, and then continue with the overall direction of the trend. All right, so that is exactly what happened with Euro USD over here. All right, I think it was an ECB press conference, I believe it was, and I believe they were more hawkish during this. And you think, well, hawkish, that's negative, it's bearish. Well, why did the Euro USD, why did it push up? It doesn't matter what the news is. It doesn't matter what it comes out to be. It could come out positive, negative, whatever. Price is going to push up here anyways because it needs to mitigate. So it uses it as an excuse to push price up. This is why I am not afraid of trading NFP. I'm not afraid of trading high impacting news because it doesn't matter, because I already have my levels set anyways. I already know where price is going. So why be scared of news? Why be scared of this sudden movement? People would think this is just manipulation. This is not manipulation. This is just price moving in the direction I was always meant to go, then going in the direction it was always meant to go long term. All right, so that's exactly why price came up and pushed into this level to mitigate price and then fell. It was because it had news, an ECB press conference at 8 in the morning on March the 12th. All right, so let me get into another one. This is AUD CAD. All right, now let me have to find it really quick. I believe it's over here somewhere. I think it was around April. Yeah, right in here, April the 1st, I believe. Yeah, April the 1st. So I actually caught a buy opportunity somewhere down in here. This is on a lower time frame, but I'm not going to go into this. But we are in an overall downtrend, okay? And what I noticed was that we had this last buy to sell candle here. Overall downtrend, I knew price was going to go short. All right, I knew price had to come up and mitigate this position first. All right, so what did it do? News is pushing down, trying to entice people to sell. Okay, I guess you can say we had a zone right in here. You had your zone and you had your break. You close below it, people are selling. They do this on purpose to try to entice you to sell, so when news comes out, it has to come back up here anyways, so it creates that excuse to push price, maybe take some stop losses in here. Maybe if you tried to sell after this break of the zone, you push your stop above the high, price comes up and takes it. People think, oh, it's a huge reaction. Well, it is, but at the same time, it was always meant to come up to this level anyways, because it had to mitigate. And look at it, basically hit it to the T, and then we fell all the way down. All right, so that is what news is. This is what it's meant to do. So if you have an area of interest, okay, an area of interest around a news time and a news announcement that's high impacting, like these red folders here, NFP, and employment change and the unemployment rate for the Canadian dollar, or for Canada, that affects the Canadian dollar, then you could assume that price could be pushing into the level of your interest at a high speed. And this does not mean that when you have a level of interest and you see this strong movement, this is momentum, but it's false momentum. Okay, it's not real momentum. Real momentum, if this was real momentum, this would just continue. This is false momentum. This is momentum just to come up here and then immediately react and push to the downside. Okay, so we actually took a sell from here. I took a buy from here and we took a sell from here. We caught both sides of the market. There was no news announcement set up here. This was more of a technical setup on a lower time frame. I'm not going to get into this now. We can discuss that at a later time in the advanced course, because it is what we trade, a smart money type of trade, institutional type of trade. So that's exactly what you have to do, okay? Now, I'm not saying that every single red folder you see, whether that be here, whatever, is going to create this sort of volatility. But when you see the red folders and you see the news announcement, and you have a level of interest that price could play off of, price most likely will come up to that level on purpose during that news time. It creates that sharp move to take not only liquidity, but to mitigate or hit some sort of price zone, create that volatility to move price in the direction it's always meant to go. Okay, so that is really what news is all about. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not trade news for the sole purpose of trying to catch a big move. That is not smart. Do not place buy stops or sell stops. That is not smart. Understand what news does, understand the technicals behind it, and the reasons why the banks influx orders around certain times of the day around news. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.